2170, 2178, 2199, and 2249. Summer of last year in Kaliningrad saw the Foreign Ministry of Russia with the Center for the Prevention of Conflict of the OSCE Secretariat and UNODA organizing a seminar for contact points of states members of the OSCE in carrying out Security Council Resolution 1540. In international information security, the OSCE complements global efforts of the UN in drawing up CBMs for the use of ICTs. At the same time, we're worried about attempts to implement into practice in the OSCE monitoring mechanisms like UN ones, or to bring through the OSCE non-consensus-based documents of the GA or the UN Human Rights Council. We on the whole welcome cooperation between the UN and the OSCE in the ground, in particular in Kosovo. We also welcome cooperation in the Geneva discussions on the Caucasus, which are an important factor in establishing direct dialogue between Georgia, Abkhazia, and Southern Ossetia. We support the intention of the Austrian chairmanship to continue OSCE efforts to assist in the settlement of regional conflicts. We stand ready to assist in resolving the Transnistria and Nagorno-Karabakh conflicts. We would like to hope that 2017 will bring peace and political settlement in eastern Ukraine, where the armed conflict has gone on more than 3 years, continuing to claim new lives among civilians. The people of Donetsk and Lugansk exercise their right and right to have special status within the Ukrainian state. There must be full implementation of the Minsk package, provide the region and its people with the possibility to live in peace and democratic self-governance, rebuild damaged economic ties with the rest of Ukraine. All of this is stipulated by the Minsk agreements, which were approved in Security Council Resolution 2202. In this context, we think it justified to continue with the conflict settlement model in eastern Ukraine. One of the elements of it is the special monitoring mission of the OSCE. We don't see practical advantage from duplicating the functions of the SMM by some other international bodies. We hope that the Austrian chairmanship will continue to oversee the objectivity of the work of the mission, as well as impress upon its representatives in the contact group and its subgroups that the priority is direct dialogue between sides to the conflict. Resources of the OSCE in conflict resolution are sufficient. However, in this delicate and tenuous process, absolute care is needed, as well as the three principles. That is, conflict should be resolved peacefully, with the direct participation and upholding the interests of sides and in existing formats. In conclusion, I'd like to underscore that Russia considers the OSCE as an important mechanism for building equitable and indivisible system of European security. We'd like to see a strengthening of its role and authority. We're sure that to ensure the relevance of the OSCE, there needs to be clearly defined priorities for its activities, as well as a charter for the organization. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement. I now give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I welcome Foreign Minister Kurz to the Security Council. I'm grateful for your briefing just now. Your chairmanship of the OSCE, together with Austria hosting the OSCE and parts of the United Nations, just shows how central your country is to international cooperation and to the rules-based system. Sadly, as we heard here yesterday, the rules-based system is under threat. It's a threat that we talk about often in this chamber, but to the residents of cities like Marinka, this threat is a horrifying daily reality. For the past 3 years, the people there have lived in fear, subject to the daily unrelenting dangers that have become the norm on the front line in eastern Ukraine. Residents there speak of daily sniper fire, daily shelling, the daily scramble for shelter. For nearly 3 years, they have survived without gas supplies in the face of plummeting temperatures every winter. These are the consequences of Russia's violation of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is what happens when the rules-based system is attacked. And we cannot allow this to become the new normal. We must use all the tools at our disposal in response. The OSCE has a critical role to play. I'd like to commend the role of the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission in particular, working tirelessly under the able direction of Chief Monster Apakan. It's thanks to the bravery of the OSCE's monitors that we know what's going on in places like Marinka. It's thanks to them that we know that ceasefire violations this year have already reached record highs. It's unacceptable that the mission continues to be fired upon and to face restrictions on access. Such actions, so often perpetrated by the separatists, only fuel suspicion that the separatists are concealing activity at odds with the Minsk agreements. So I hope that we can all be clear today that aggression towards monitors must stop, and the mission must be given unrestricted access to all of Ukraine, including the disengagement areas and those parts of the border with Russia not under Ukraine's control. As we heard yesterday, the long-term solution to the situation in eastern Ukraine requires Russia to end its destabilizing activities in the region, comply with its commitments under the Minsk agreements, withdraw its weapons and personnel, use its considerable influence over the separatists to bring an end to the killing, and return Crimea to its rightful place as part of Ukraine. This is the only meaningful path to long-term peace in Ukraine, and until this path is taken, sanctions against Russia must remain in place. Beyond Ukraine, we should not lose sight of this Council's need to work closely with the Austrian OSCE chairmanship to resolve other issues affecting the region and help protect fundamental rights and freedoms. These include protracted conflicts in Abkhazia and South Ossetia, Transnistria, and Nagorno-Karabakh. We also value the vital role the OSCE plays in risk reduction in the region, and we welcome the launch of the structured dialogue. We support your focus, Mr. Foreign Minister, on youth and radicalisation, where the OSCE, with its cross-dimensional approach to security, can add real value. If the OSCE is to respond to these and other challenges, we must also continue to strengthen the organisation. One way to do that is through strong appointments, and I'm pleased that the UK has put forward an excellent candidate for the High Commissioner on National Minorities position in the OSCE, as a sign of our continued commitment to the organisation. We're also pleased that our ambassador to the OSCE is chairing the OSCE Human Dimension Committee this year and working closely with the Austrian chairmanship. In conclusion, Mr. President, events in eastern Ukraine reinforce just how important the OSCE is to international cooperation. The work being done there is vital to the beleaguered residents of Marinka and to all Ukrainians in the east of the country. Sadly, events in Ukraine highlight the threats that countries in the OSCE area and the rules-based system as a whole continue to face. If we are to respond to them effectively, we must continue to strengthen the OSCE and with it, this Council's cooperation. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the United Kingdom for his statement, and I give the floor to the representative of Kazakhstan.